Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee with Kem and Hills. It's Wednesday. We're halfway there. Woo!
So excited.
I wore a bright color to sort of energize myself, you know?
I did not. I went neutral on neutral.
Hey, white is bright.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all light, right?
Or it's light. White is light.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think scientifically white is all lights
White
and black
is-
is the absence of light.
Yeah, it's like
right?
void of color, like all color and light, right?
I think
Or is it opposite? Nope, I think you're right. And this is like all
all the color, well, all light.
all light.
Yeah. all-
Okay, so
Yeah, here we go.
now that we've covered that,
Now that we brought some science in, you're welcome.
you're welcome. My brain hurts. Yes, we're bringing the light today because it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Why not?
And why not? Did you have an okay morning?
Yeah, it was a good morning.
Yeah.
Last night we have started watching The Sopranos from the beginning.
Oh, nice.
Neither my husband nor I have ever seen it as a show ever.
Right, I hear that's like something you have to see.
Yeah, and now that we live on the East Coast, like feels very relevant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I live in Jersey now, so
Yeah,
apparently,
exactly.
like, I have to watch it.
You should. And it's such a well done show. I can see why it was such a popular thing.
Right.
20 years ago, guys. 20 years ago, which is crazy.
Wow, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, the first episode aired in 1999.
Oh, okay.
So also seeing the fashions from back then is
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Also seeing some of the fashions that they're wearing and then seeing people on the streets of New York City wearing said fashion, like legit.
Yeah.
Saw that happen yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, 90s are back
In a big way.
in a very big way. Like, really going for it. The things I never thought would come back. I'm like, you're here.
Yeah.
You've made your way all the way back. Okay, here you are.
Yep.
My husband is trying to get me into 24, speaking of old shows. Did you watch it?
No. I think I watched like the first episode and I was like, this is cool, but it wasn't like, it didn't hook me to
That's exactly how I
Sign in.
felt. That's exactly how I felt. Like, we watched the first episode. I think I fell asleep.
you're pregnant, it's fine.
And I'm like, don't be mad at me. I know there's a lot of 24 fans out there. I know it's a good series. The actors were great. I like the concept is really interesting. But yeah, it's so, I think some of it's my fault too, because it's like, there's so much content out there that
Yeah.
my now demand for like being immediately captivated like is really, really high. Like, I don't have the
Right.
patience now because I'm like, oh, I'll just try this one. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's so much out there to watch.
Yeah,
So-
there's so many options just at your fingertips.
yeah, but he's still working on it. We'll see. I'll get back to you on it.
We'll circle back on that.
We'll circle back on that. Yes.
I like that.
All right. Well, let's get into some hot topics. Okay. So this is from Fast Company, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Here are 2 popular crypto scams.
Yes.
And how to avoid them. This is popular again. Why I'm scared of cryptocurrency.
Well, I think, and they made a good point about this, is that scams have been around since biblical times, or definitely before that. It's just that's when
Meaning
it was probably
scammers have been
reported.
around
Yeah,
since.
scammers. But now the nature, because cryptocurrency is so popular, there's just scammers take advantage of any way and any new thing, and so now
And
they've
it's digital
taken
too, so
advantage
they
of
don't
this.
have a face.
Yes.
I mean, there's something kind of like, I can see why they're like, oh, here, I'm like this. I don't have to wear a mask.
Right? Yeah. And they can reach so many more people by just pressing a button. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I get emails all the time.
Oh my gosh.
That are phishing emails. I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I do not. No. Like,
All the time.
hard pass.
Yeah, I know, all the time. Even text
Spam.
messages. It's
Yes.
like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. All right, so you have to look out for fake investments.
Yes.
Yeah, so scammers create fake coins or fake exchanges, and they're targeting, I thought this was interesting, younger high-income investors who tend to be active traders holding risky portfolios. So it sounds like they're like targeting some, pretty savvy.
People who feel that they're very savvy in investing.
Yes. Who like to take those risks, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, here, I've got one for you.
Right.
And there's a recent example, a cryptocurrency named Squid, off of one of the greatest shows I've seen of recent, the Squid Games.
Speaking of shows.
If you haven't seen it, I mean, if you're not into like gory thriller kind of horror, then you might not be into this.
I don't know. I'm not into that, but I also still liked Squid Games. Like I wasn't into like the bloodshed part.
I feel
but
like it translates to people who aren't into horror.
Emotional and like the storyline was really interesting.
It's so interesting.
And there's a season 2 that just got greenlit, which is very exciting.
So
who knows when that's coming out? So.
Right. But so I thought this was interesting because yes, it is named after Squid Games. Right there should have been like a red flag.
Right. Wait, can we also talk about how Netflix is coming out with their own Squid game show?
What?
Oh, did you see this news?
Where they kill people?
So apparently they aren't killing people, but there are like 456 people who get to sign up and play for money.
I wouldn't trust that. Not after watching it.
I know.
I'd have
hard pass on that.
I'm already gonna have like nightmares about it. Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, it's like gonna be a real thing. Yeah.
Definitely watch it though.
Okay, sorry, back to Hot Topics.
Yes. So they named this cryptocurrency Squid, right? After Squid Games. Okay. And after the new coin skyrocketed in price, its creators disappeared with the money. Just poof, gone.
Just gone. With all that money.
That would hurt.
Yes.
That would hurt.
So one of the things that Fast Company says is to make sure if you are planning on trying and getting in on the ground floor, which is what these companies, when they're talking about, these fake investments or starting these new coins or starting a new a coin exchange,
right.
Like they want, you want to be in on the ground floor so you get it at the cheapest price and then you get to grow with whatever.
Yeah, they know how to entice you.
Yeah, they definitely know. And especially if they're going after like educated people who are educated in investments and, they are willing to take more risk. But just make sure you're doing your research.
Right. Well, they said one thing to look out for is like grammatical errors.
Yes.
And I feel like if there's like spelling errors on a website, you gotta be like, that's a kind of, you wouldn't expect that on a legit website.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Where that involves money, like major money. So I don't know.
I mean, but again, it goes back to these phishing emails that you get, and there's always like a little bit of like a grammatical issue or something is like off, and you're just like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
So yes, make sure you understand that it's a proofread website.
Yes. So next, shakedown payments. The next type of scam uses shakedown cryptocurrency as a payment method to transfer funds from victims to scammers.
Yep.
Yikes. So this targets all ages and demographics. So that could be you or you or you or you. These include ransomware cases. What's ransomware cases?
Ransomware.
Oh, I wrote.
It includes ransomware cases.
I will read anything that is written down on this page. I will read anything, I'm telling you, and I have. Don't even edit it out. I deserve this. That includes ransomware. I know what that is. So, I was like, randomware? What's that? Like,
seems random to me.
Seems random to me. Ransomware cases, romance scams, computer repair scams, extortion cases, and Ponzi schemes.
Yep.
Like basically everything.
Yeah.
So
it's basically all those traditional scams that we see out there.
Yep.
This is the new payment for those.
yeah. So basically if someone is asking you to transfer money to them via cryptocurrency, that in general is a big red flag. Don't do it.
Red flag.
Don't
Huge
do it.
red flag. It used to be gift cards, as we've covered before,
Right.
And now they've gone to crypto because then the victim doesn't necessarily have to go out of their house to buy a gift card where
Right.
they might be stopped.
Right.
Crypto, nobody can stop.
They want to keep you in your house.
Yes, apparently.
Yes, and get the money right out of your pockets from your couch, basically.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. They're slimy little suckers. On that note, scammers. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back with more hot topics. Welcome back, everyone. I was so excited to get back because now we get to talk about the metaverse.
Woo! Kim's favorite topic.
Yes.
As we know.
Yes. It actually gives me anxiety. It really does. Just this idea of this virtual world that like we're just trying to get by in the real world and like trying to do it in both places. And the more that I read about it expanding in such a real way, like it becoming so, I don't know, a mirror of the real world in a sense, the more I'm like, oh gosh, I can't do can't do both. I don't know.
Yes, I feel like one life is enough to try and figure out how to navigate and
where's the
put
time?
effort into.
It's not like our life expectancy is like, being extended so that we can accommodate another
50 years or something. Or the hours in the day aren't extending by 6 hours so you can have time for all of this.
Yeah, but of course, companies are getting in on this because it is potentially a very lucrative opportunity for them. So this is an article from the Wall Street Journal. The metaverse lures brands like Nike and Gap with new ways to market and make money, which we've talked about this a little bit before with I think Gucci and a tiara.
Yes, their $300,000 tiara.
Yeah, I mean...
And I think it's interesting that there's different ways that brands are using the metaverse to market, right? Some are doing your more traditional NFTs like Gap, where they came out with limited edition. Yeah, touche. Nobody knew what an NFT was like 6 months ago. Definitely not, well, at least I didn't, but...
No, definitely not me.
So, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
NFT, non-fungible token.
Fungible token.
It's so a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Now we know why they
shortened it to NFT.
NFT. Because no one was going to be able to say that. Fungible.
But Gap has come out with NFTs of their sweatshirts.
Yeah.
But they're just NFTs. You cannot wear them in the metaverse, which I think is the interesting thing. And this is where and then JP Morgan Chase now has a lounge and library and video content in a mall in metaverse that they are sponsoring. Basically, they're paying for, but there's no actual banking happening. So it's just an interesting way for them to get more eyeballs.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, there's news stories and getting press about being involved in the metaverse, at least at this point.
So I'm still I know NFTs now, it's common knowledge, kind of what they are. I'm still having a hard time understanding. So say Gap has an NFT hoodie that you can't wear in
Correct.
the metaverse. It's just a picture that you keep, sort of an image.
Yeah.
So your avatar cannot wear that.
At this point, yes.
Because in this article they were talking about how you have to sort of create your own realm where that NFT can exist. Is that correct?
Well, not necessarily for that particular NFT. That technology is not for it to be worn. It is more of just a picture of
a hoodie.
Of a hoodie.
That's even more confusing.
That if you buy it directly from Gap, you pay $2.
Right.
You could sell it to me at some point for $10. You've made $8 of profit.
Sure. Okay.
But say the value goes down and now I've paid $10 for it and nobody wants to pay 12 or 11 or anything, I have an NFT that doesn't have any value. So really the value of these is what somebody else is willing to pay for them.
Right. But within the article they were talking about how people can buy clothing for their...
Yes.
But there is the issue still, and we are not sure if there's going to be free world trade, like
yes,
how
free
they're
trade, throughout the world.
throughout the worlds,
Yeah.
virtual worlds yet. So as of right now, you can't just freely jump around in your clothes.
Right, from metaverse to metaverse, because
Yeah.
there are competing spaces right now, or competing companies who have created metaverses.
So they called them like micro economies, basically,
Yes.
right? Oh my gosh.
Which I think is interesting. So it's funny that this article came out when it did. It actually came out before Meta, formerly known as Facebook,
Right.
announced last week that your avatar in the metaverse that they support can now wear, it's, who is it? Balenciaga, Tom Brown, and Prada. So you
Okay.
can have a fancy avatar. Your avatar, at least my avatar, if it was wearing that, would be wearing way fancier clothes than I own.
Totally. If you're going to be an avatar, you might as well do it right.
So that is, and to your point, now if your avatar then goes to a different metaverse, they might not, at this point,
They'll be nude.
They'll be nude. Or maybe just in
that's
something
awkward.
generic. I don't know, but yes.
I think I'll be staying in my own metaverse.
Their Tom Brown is staying in this metaverse and not going over to that one.
Right. So maybe just be like in your default like outfit, whatever
Right.
that might be.
Yeah.
Okay. It did mention that Wendy's was going to be... Okay. I understand like marketing in the using it as a marketing tool, but
Yes.
I was like, are they going to sell food to your avatar?
I think
It's one thing to dress them. I can almost wrap my head around that. But to feed them as well?
Well,
to
I
pay
mean,
to feed them?
I think I go back to like the Sim analogy. Do you feed your Sim? I haven't played Sim since like, I don't know, dial up, like back in like 1995. So yeah, it's been a long
totally.
time.
I used to love it. I thought it was
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. It does. That's the only thing that I can relate it to is Sims. Like, but I just don't know. It's very interesting. All right. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back to talk about, we have Healthy Wealthy Wednesday.
We have Healthy Wealthy Wednesday.
Let us not
have
forget.
the business.
That's right. It's a big day.
Yeah, it's a big day. It's Wednesday. I like Wednesdays around here.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Let us not forget it is Healthy Wealthy Wednesday. All right. Please take it away. Give us our financial tips of the day that are going to keep us financially well.
Well, hopefully. I think, so, there's a lot of talk on, inflation and people losing the power of the money they already have. And, it can be a worrisome time, especially if you are trying, you want to buy a home or you want to keep the lifestyle you've had, and you don't want to pull back. Maybe think about that. But this week's tip is to not over-apply for credit or loans.
Okay.
Especially in a time like this where interest rates are going up. It's not the time to really apply for big loans or get another credit card if you don't need it, and be putting things on a credit card where it's going to affect your credit score.
Right.
And, it's always easier to borrow the money when you have more available to you, but if you're not able to pay it back, that's not a good cycle for you to get into.
No, that's a great tip for the here and now. It's very relevant, and it's something that I think everyone needs to be paying attention to. It's true. So maybe sit back have it be a goal at some point, but just pay attention to what's going on.
Exactly.
And it'll change.
Yeah. Hopefully, things get a little bit less rocky and
Sooner
we
than
get a
later.
little bit more stability. So
Yeah.
But for right now, just keep it under control.
Pump the brakes, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so now please tell us all about today's episode of The Business Of.
So on today's episode of The Business Of, we are talking with Andrew from Azimuth Aviation and talking about the business of helicopters and
So
private aviation. It was really cool. It was a really fun interview to do. got to sit in a helicopter. I've never been in one.
Lucky.
And, you know, it's just an interesting business.
Yeah.
And I think he's a pilot first, which I think is also brings a different point of view to that business.
Right.
So it was a really great interview, and we have a quick clip for you guys to check out now.
Sweet.
We are back for the business of, and today we're talking about the business of helicopters and aviation. We have Andrew Hayden here from Azimuth Aviation. And Andrew, tell me your favorite thing about flying helicopters.
Honestly, I am absolutely still fascinated by the fact that I can hover. The whole stationary position off the ground in a helicopter. I actually love the empty legs when I'm flying alone. Just me and the aircraft. It's that whole I'm connected thing. If I lose that passion for flying, that's the day I should stop. But honestly, just the physical skill set and, you know, putting the time and effort into being good at it is something that I get huge personal reward out of it. I don't need to fly around the skies like a cowboy. just to be able to do it and do it well is something that I try really hard to do.
Very cool. And tell me about your first helicopter ride that you ever took.
I was fascinated by cars and planes as a kid. My dad back home in Ireland was an accountant who then became a university lecturer, but he had his own firm with a couple of guys, and they were doing some work for a photographer. And over a Christmas period, that photographer was doing a flight, and he said, "Hey, do you want to go along?" And my dad said, "Yeah, but it's somebody I got to take with me." And in my entire educational history, that was the one day I got off school. I was never off for any other time. But I was 10 years old. I got up in a Bell 206 Jet Ranger, which is like the one that's over there behind us, and that was it. That was the life-altering moment. Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Well, come watch The Business Of later on today on ROI TV and learn more about the business of helicopters.
Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to remind you not to miss today's episodes of Estate Planning 101, The Business Of, the Blockchain Interviews, and Root Financial. You can check them all out on ROI TV. Where?
Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or on your phone or iPad, depending on what sort of tablet you have, whether it's Android or iPhone.
No excuses.
No excuses.
But thank you for joining us again on another episode of Coffee with Chem and Hills. We will see you tomorrow.